Unforgettable in every way, and forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. That song was hot, man. It's a classic song. Yeah. Nat King Cole. Unforgettable. It's a good song, man. Classic. What's going on YouTube? It's your guy Darren, man. I'm the bow tie fragrance guy. On the channel where we talk about both fragrances as well as fashion. So if you love looking good and smelling great, hey, you might have found the right channel. We talk about both on this channel. I hope you consider clicking the subscribe button. And make sure you hit the bell icon as well to ensure you get notified anytime I upload new content on the channel. So guys, you see the title of today's video, Unforgettable. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. What a profound statement. And I was prepared today to go on and rant and rave about how profound a statement that was. And then I thought about it. It was really just very obvious, of course, because once you meet somebody for the first time, you can never make your first time your second time. You know what I mean? Because you've already done it. First impression. Your first time meeting somebody is your first. It can never be your second time after your first. You get what I'm trying to say. But I like the way it was phrased. It was the phrasing of it. You never get a second chance. You know. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's video, guys. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. And with that being the case, listen, a fragrance and the way that you smell plays a very vital role in people's overall perception of who you are, especially the first time that you are meeting them. The olfactory and the whole sense thing, the way things smell is, hey man, it's just as important as how you look. So I have 10 fragrances here on this list today. If you want to leave a lasting and unforgettable first impression, you want to make a lasting and unforgettable first impression, I have 10 fragrances that will help you do just that. So if you want to see what made today's list, then you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we are back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this list of fragrances. 10 fragrances to help you make an unforgettable first impression. The first fragrance up on the list today, it could be a matter of how long this fragrance has been in existence now, as to why it doesn't get the love that it deserves, but that's not what this is about. If you want to make a great first impression, this is one I highly recommend from the House of Chanel. The original Chanel Allure Homme. The original Chanel Allure Homme. Although this was created, I think, around 1998, this fragrance does not smell dated. And this is the perfect representation, in my opinion, of a fragrance that everybody pretty much is going to like because it has a certain element of freshness to it and a certain element of sweetness. That's something that I talk about a lot of times. If you want a fragrance that's going to appeal to the masses, then it has to be something that's fresh, but it's also a little bit sweet. Now, you run into a lot of people that doesn't like really sweet fragrances. You run into a lot of people that doesn't like things that are overly citrusy and just kind of basic. This is the best of both worlds. It has a beautiful melange of fruity notes, and the opening is fruity. You get a little bit of spice here, you get a little bit of floral, you get the sweetness on the dry down with the tonka bean, the vanilla, you got some sandalwood in here. Listen, this fragrance is everything. It smells great, and people are going to remember you if you are wearing this fragrance. So check it out. There's a lot of great fragrances from Chanel. A lot of them get more attention than this. Bleu de Chanel, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme, but this is where it all started. Again, this is the original from that line. This is Chanel Allure Homme. Next fragrance up on this list, guys, this fragrance comes from the House of Creed. It's one of my favorites. This is called Original Santal. Original Santal. Yes, I can hear you. I know. You can get individual and it's going to do about the same thing. That is true. And if you would do that, I don't blame you. But there is about a 10% difference between the two that I really can pick up, and I love Chanel. I love this one right here, the Original Santal. I just love it. Again, just like I talked about with Allure Homme, it's fresh, but when it starts to dry down, you get that nice sweetness that comes into play from the cinnamon and the sandalwood and the tonka in this fragrance, and it's an amazing scent. Fresh and clean. The lavender helps to keep the balance between the two, between the freshness and of course the sweetness, and you cannot go wrong with this fragrance. Give yourself 5 sprays of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 on the shirt, 5. You're set to go. Go out there and make a great first impression with this fragrance. So check it out from the House of Creed. Again, this is called Original Santal. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list comes from the house of Giorgio Armani, and this is Acqu Di Gio Absolu. Acqu Di Gio Absolu. Now, this fragrance, to me, does not get anywhere the amount of attention and love that it deserves. But listen, it deserves some attention. Stuff is absolutely fantastic. Again, when you talk about a fragrance that is going to get the job done as it relates to other folks smelling you and saying, wow, this person smells good that is wearing this fragrance, this is going to do it for you. This is going to leave a lasting impression on the person that you come into contact with. It's nice and fruity. You have the nice, of course, sweetness that I talk about. Again, with all the other ones on this list, more than likely the tonka bean, as it starts to dry down, has some labdanum in here, giving this fragrance a little bit of character. Now, I think this fragrance doesn't get as much love just in the fragrance community because you look at the bottle, you think this kind of clean, maybe more sophisticated version of the original, which to me that was taken care of by Profumo. And you look at the nice wooden cap, and maybe that kind of threw people off, but they weren't expecting a kind of fresh and fruity, easy to wear fragrance, and that's exactly what you got. It's mass appealing, but again, we're just talking about fragrances that's going to make a great first impression, and this is going to do it. So don't sleep on this one, guys. Check it out from the house of Giorgio Armani. This is Acqu Di Gio Absolu. The next fragrance on the list comes from the house of Frederic, and of course, I'm sure you guys can see at this point I'm doing designer and niche. I wanted there to be something for everybody on this list. So check this one out. I've talked about it before. This is called French Lover. And this is for the gentleman out there. If you're a gentleman, you're going to a black tie event, you're going to be at a board meeting, you're going to be somewhere where you want to make a great first impression and you have to be dressed up, check this one out, French Lover. It's sexy, it's masculine, and it's good. It's very, very green and woody. Green and woody is the 2 words I will use to describe this fragrance, but I'm telling you guys, you're gonna knock it out of the park as it relates to making a first impression if you are wearing this fragrance. Now, you have to be well prepared, you have to dress right to wear this, or it will wear you. But don't let that scare you. If you want to make a good first impression, this is one from Frederic Mall that comes highly recommended by the bow tie fragrance guys. So check it out. Again, this one is called French Lover. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list, it is what it is. It's going to get the job done as it relates to making a great first impression. This one from Paco Rabanne is called 1 Million Lucky. 1 Million Lucky, and that is the right word. This was aptly named Lucky. This fragrance will help you be very lucky in whatever situation that you're going to wear it in. I mean, it's great for date nights. You can wear it casually as well. Whatever you're doing with this fragrance is going to work. 2 main notes in this to my nose are the hazelnut and the plum. 2 main notes, and just kind of like the Acqu Di Gio Absolu, it's kind of playful and sweet, but it's still not overly sweet. I can see some people saying that maybe the original 1 Million was a little bit too sweet, but not this one. It gives you that right amount of sweetness that people generally love and are drawn to. So check it out, man. I know this came out a few years ago now, maybe around 2018 or 19, but it's still good today. So from the house of Paco Rabanne, if you want to make a great first impression, then just get lucky and try lucky. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list comes from the house of Parfums de Marly, and this one is called Percival. Percival. One of the most easy to wear fragrances from the whole house of Parfums de Marly. Of course, you guys have heard this a million times, but it smells a lot like Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, which was one of my favorite fragrances. Well, it used to be my signature scent. To me, this is just a little bit more woody than that one was, a little bit more mature version of that fragrance, and you can't really go wrong with that. I think the scent in that store was what drew so many people into the store. Even if you were walking by Abercrombie and Fitch and you didn't have plans on going in, once you got a whiff of Fierce, you kind of just made a beeline and kind of turned around and went back into the store because it's just a magnetic smell. Hey, same thing in this bottle right here, just a little bit more refined. So definitely one, if it can make people turn around and go into a store and you had no intentions of going into the store, then it can make or leave a great first impression on whoever it is that you're going to come into contact with. So check it out from the house of Parfums de Marly. This is called Percival. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list comes from the house of Prada, and this is called Prada L'Homme. Why does this smell so good? Why does this make the list? Because it is very clean and powdery. And those are two things that there's never a bad time to smell clean, fresh, and powdery. And this thing does that like no other. Again, you get the iris in here, but you get that very, very kind of clean nature with this fragrance. And again, man, if you're making a great first impression, it's always safe to go clean and fresh. And that's exactly what this fragrance does. It smells great. It makes a great first impression. It's potent enough where it's going to last you pretty much the duration of the day. So definitely one that will help you in that department, man. So check it out. If you want to make a great first impression, this is another one that I highly recommend from the house of Prada. This is called Prada L'Homme. The next fragrance on this list, I've talked about it a lot lately, so I'm not going to go into detail. Just get it, guys. Put this in your life from the house of Bond number 9. This is Lafayette Street. Trust me and believe me, this will help you make a great first impression. Mass appealing, easy to wear. I've yet to meet somebody that I've come into contact with that did not like it. So that tells me, I'm pretty sure that anybody you come into contact with, for the most part, is probably going to like this one as well. So check it out from the house of Bond number 9. This one is called Lafayette Street. All right, the next fragrance up on the list comes from the house of Nishane, and this one is called hacivat. This is called hacivat. I've told my story countless times on this channel about my first experience with this fragrance. Yes, it does remind me somewhat of Acqu Di Gio, but there's an earthiness in here from the patchouli and the oak moss, that greenness that comes from the oak moss that really separates this fragrance, gives it its own DNA. And without a doubt in my mind, you can make a great first impression rocking this fragrance. I mean, you don't even have to be close to somebody because it's such a great performer. It's going to project. So they're going to be able to pick you up from across the room. So check this one out, man. Definitely a good first impression kind of scent from the house of Nishane. This one is called hacivat. All right, and last but not least on this list, this fragrance comes from the house of Amouage. You guys probably already know what this is. And this one is called Reflection Man. Reflection Man. Clean and fresh, once again, is the theme of this particular fragrance. You have this beautiful melange of white floral notes in the heart of this fragrance, combined with a nice, warm, kind of creamy sandalwood note. And that's what really makes up this fragrance. It just smells great. And again, just like the other fragrances on this list, for the most part, I can't really find a bad time to wear this fragrance and to have this this particular scent on your skin. So you guys have probably heard a lot about this fragrance. So again, I won't go into much more detail about it. But again, if you want to make a great first impression, this one I really feel like will get the job done. Check it out from the house of Amouage. This one is called Reflection Man. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time, man. I hope you enjoyed this list today of 10 fragrances that I gave you that will help you make a great first impression. As always, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your attention to these videos because, of course, listen, man, you could have been doing anything else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you share these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren, the bow tie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.